Hey everyone, it's time for some more Monster Hunter, and today we are going to be finishing up a grind I've actually been starting since early this morning in order to defeat the Rathalos tomorrow. Now, I have been getting some feedback on the last episode about how poorly I was playing, and yeah, I agree, I'm pretty bad at the game. But what I'm going to be doing is I actually have a very specific thing I'm going to be doing here. So if we go into the equip details, somebody did suggest I get a weapon with green sharpness, and I actually got the Vile Serpent Blade. I was able to upgrade that off screen, funnily enough, only in the last like 2 hours, but I had to sell all of my Kutku parts. The Kutku armor plan completely gone. This battle armor, it is doing me wonders in terms of stopping a lot of the damage. So I'll just keep a hold of this armor that I have now because it's doing the job well enough to where I didn't card a single time in the last mission. Now, that said, I am a little bit concerned only because the greatsword is a bit more difficult to maneuver than the hammer. So I will be having a little bit more of a struggle avoiding attacks. However, it does have green sharpness, so that will help in terms of actually piercing through the Rathalos' hide. Now, that said, another thing I'm doing is I am still leaning into the strategy I was doing before. Let me just discard that. So I'm gathering flash bugs at this time, and that's mostly what we'll be doing with this episode, getting flash bugs, bomb material, and gunpowder. That way we can actually, yes, gunpowder, and of course large barrels. That way we can max out our ability to have large barrel bombs and flash bombs. So I'm going to also get some materials for traps, as you can see with the ivy. So what I'm going to be doing is doing the Velocidrome quest. That way I can get all the materials I need for the traps. That way I can have a couple of traps and some nets and trap tools in addition to that. Now, I already have a lot of what I need. Like I said, I sold all of my Kutku parts in order to get the money I needed, but I had like 14,000 zenny by the end of it, so all I needed to do was grind a few small monster bones, and I was able to deal with it. Now, what we're going into this quest with is, well, mostly the only thing we really need in terms of like specialized items is a bug net. Now, the reason why I'm not emptying out my inventory is because this is everything we're going to need. So, of course, we have 4 antidotes. I actually forgot the merchant lady sells antidote herbs, so I made myself look like a bit of an idiot with the last episode trying to forge them, but hey, it's just the blue mushrooms you need, right? But in addition to that, because it turns out the 4 antidotes should be enough. But we're getting flash bugs. We're going to try to max those out. And we are also I should get some whetstones, but I can worry about that later. So also what we're going to do is we're going to get some spider webs and ivy and then try to max out the nets and get some trap tools in addition to the nets. Besides that, I already have my large barrels and I was going to say gunpowder maxed out, but I realized I didn't actually combine the items I needed. So I'm going to combine the fire herbs with the nitro shrooms that I do not have. I know I was forgetting something. So I'm going to go back into my house and get some nitro shrooms. So what we're going to be focusing on is combining the nitro shrooms with the fire herbs in order to get gunpowders. Now, I know one person suggested, hey, why not get the Book of Combos? And, well, one, it's because it takes up 3 slots in my inventory. And as is, I only have 2 left until I finish combining everything. But the other thing is, really, I was having pretty good luck already with the last episode combining them together, so I'm not too concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and combine the nitrogens with the fire herbs, because it's 95% chance success rate. The main thing I'd be worried about is combining the gunpowder with the bomb materials. Not the bomb materials, but the large barrels in order to get large barrel bombs. But, well, again, I'm not really too worried about it. But I just need to go out there, get some more nitro shrooms, get some more ivy, get some more spider webs, and get some nets. That way I can mix them with the trap tools and make some traps. Now, I know it's a bit of an old topic, but something that I know Monster Hunter World struggle with is that the weapon variety, at least starting out before Iceborne, is pretty awful. I know everybody's like, oh, start with World, and I'm like, no, don't start Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter World. I mean, maybe, I guess, because it does have the multiplayer aspect to it, and it is still very much an alive game, but if you can emulate multiplayer through local play and Citra, definitely, or another 3DS emulator, I would strongly, strongly, strongly recommend starting with Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. And the reason why is because there's not a lot of bloat in there, like with Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. There's not a lot of, just mess aside from, just go out there and hunt the monster and come back. Plus, it does have the best story, of course, but that is, of course, my own personal opinion. I know if you're looking for like a game in terms of feel and stuff, then it's definitely Monster Hunter World. But if you're looking for a game that will reward your progression and actually show your weapon upgrades, like the one I have right now, this what is it, Serpent Bite, Vile Serpent Bite, something like that. Then yeah, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate is really the best one to start with, because the downside to Monster Hunter World is that if you get bored using the same looking weapon over and over again, you're really going to be struggling to stick with Monster Hunter World, just because until you get to Iceborne, some 30 to 50 hours in, you're just going to be looking at almost the same weapon. You're going to be spending at least 5 to 6 hours looking at the same weapon over and over again. Whereas this game, you can spend an hour or two just going out there and finding stuff and, grinding a little bit. And then all of a sudden you have a brand spanking new weapon that looks crazy, like this greatsword that just looks like a snake. Now, that is the only spot I know of in the Forest and Hills where you can get flash bugs. It looks like that one was a failure, but we can still, I actually did forget this over here. We can still get the spider webs and ivy in order to make nets. Now, I did max out my honey and herbs, so I'm not going to be worried about getting some more. Same with the Felvine, because basically whenever I go in to fight Rathalos this time, it's pretty much going to be bang my head against the wall until it works, because I am not going to lose a whole bunch of items and then, not abandon the quest. So that's pretty much how it is for me. Oh, I don't like that sound. I always wonder what that sound is. I can't tell if it's like supposed to be some spooky monster or bullfango or what. Also, another thing is with the greatsword, it has this sweet spot, for lack of a better term. And if you hit the monster with that sweet spot, it'll do maximum damage. However, if you hit it with like the hilt of the weapon or the very tip of the weapon, it'll do reduced damage. I always hated that. I get it, but I've always hated that. Of course, I didn't mean to get the scale. I was trying to get some spider webs. Oh, yes. Huh. Weird. Oh, right. The mini whetstones. Yeah, I can go without them. But as is, I probably should put some items back in order to gather these items, but I'm going to go ahead and finish the quest here and then try to worry about that later. What I'm going to do is, originally I was going to go out and then just go fight the Velocidrome, but I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come over here and go to Area 6. That way I can climb to the top and gather some more ivy and spiderwebs. Also, at the Area 6 ivy wall, you can actually climb to the top of it and get some ivy from there. So I'm going to go ahead and gather that and then deal with the Velocidrome. Now, something I'm a little bit concerned about is I'm doing the numbers in my head, and I'm thinking that if I go into the Rathalos fight with everything I'm trying to get, so basically maxed out pitfall traps as well as the supplies, maxed out to make some more, maxed out flash bombs as well as the supplies to make some more, maxed out large barrel bombs and the supplies to make more, then I am a little concerned that I won't have any space left. Because I know the last time I fought Rathalos, I did use all my first aid meds and almost all of my mega potions fighting him. So I am a little bit concerned that I might have to actually give up at least one slot so that I can have the first aid meds. Because those first aid meds starting out, they will be pretty crucial. Now, I was going to go in with Mega Nutrients, but I think I'm going to hold off on that because I am pretty set in terms of defense. So I'm not too worried about Rathalos taking me out in like 2 or 3 hits. I think it's going to take him at least like 4 or 5 hits. Alright, so we have successfully gathered from every spot here. I'm trying to see if there's any other bug gathering spots in the Forest and Hills, but I'm a little worried because I don't see anything, and I'm starting to think, oh, well, maybe they're all in the jungle. Because the way you can tell something's a bug gathering spot is there will be fireflies flying around, and of course I didn't see any fireflies over here. I know in the English release, they're in like Area 1 and Area 12 as well, but in the Japanese release, not so much. Now, I am pretty advantaged here in that I don't really have to worry about gathering stuff anymore. Well, excuse me, not gathering stuff, but I don't have to worry about carving stuff anymore because my serpent bite, whatever, vile serpent blade, I think it is about as good as it's going to get. Now, I can technically upgrade it one more time before Rathalos, but I'm going to need a light crystal, and that'll involve me having to fight Gypsaros, and that'll probably be just an entire stream by itself, and that's if I kill it. So, I'm not going to worry about that right now. But the Velocidrome should be pretty easy to kill. I think I can kill him in about 10 or 15 hits. At least I've been having a pretty good success rate killing him fairly quickly so far. Even before I upgrade the weapon properly, I only upgraded it like once or twice, and I killed the Velocidrome quick. Because really what I was doing was I was kind of stun locking him, and the way I was doing that is I was just hitting him once. Oh, well, if I can actually hit him, I was hitting him once, and then going around to the circle attack, and then it would take, instead of 2 hits, it would take 3, but of course with the upgrade again, it is taking less hits. But I would basically do the downward slash, and then the back slash, and then the upward swing, and that would knock him down. And I would basically bully him into the corner, and then just hold him there. So like right now, I can just bully him into this corner, and even while he's down, I can still hit him. I was having better luck last time stun locking him, but I kind of messed that up. Like I said, it is okay though, because I can just go and well on him, and I don't have to worry about carving him. So after that, I'll be pretty set. Yeah, there we go, just like that. It's pretty easy, pretty quick. I'm going to try to carve since I'm like right on top of him. Try to get me a cheeky little carve in. Oh yeah, Velocidrome hide. Yeah, it looks like all I got this time was Velocidrome hide. That stinks, but hey, what can you do? But I am pretty happy with the haul for my spiderwebs, because I got 5 spiderwebs this time, and I actually managed to max out my ivy. So I'm going to see if I can max out my nets once we get back to camp, and then after that, I should be pretty set in terms of getting everything I need besides the trap tools. Then after that, it's just getting the trap tools, and then making a couple of traps, and then maxing out the spider webs and the ivy and the trap tools again. Well, I guess the nets and the trap tools again. I was trying to see if there's any spot over here where I could gather bugs, but looks like there isn't. I was checking in an old, was it NeoSeeker or IGN or GameFAQs guide? I can't remember which it was, but it said somewhere over here in Area 12 there should have been another bug gathering spot, but I couldn't find any, unfortunately. So now that I have a lot of what I need right now, so I'm going to go ahead and dump what I know I have already maxed out. So herbs, honey, mega potions, let's go ahead and dump those. Gunpowder I'm keeping, large barrel bomb, small barrel bombs, flash bombs, definitely. The fire herbs, yeah, I'm going to, oh, I forgot to get nitro shrooms. That was the other thing I forgot to get. But I do have ivy and spiderwebs here, so I'm going to go ahead and combine those and see how... Oh, no, not flash bugs. I will go ahead and... No, I'm going to keep the flash bugs and bomb material separate, because I do need those in order to make more flash bombs. But I'll go ahead and combine the ivy and the spiderweb and see how many nets I can get. Alright, so thankfully it looks like I was able to get a pretty much 100% success rate on that, even though it was a 90% chance for it succeeding. So that streamer's luck really is kicking in. You know, I know for most people, they usually get at least one where it's like, oh, it doesn't want to work. And, of course, you could buy spider webs. I completely forgot about that. So let me just go ahead and combine the rest. So spider web and ivy. Alright, so now that I've maxed out my net, I need to buy some trap tools. Looks like you can... Oh, that's actually not good. Looks like you can only have 2 trap tools at a time. So maybe I can do, like, what is it, 3, 4... traps. I can't remember how many pitfall traps you can have at one time, but I'm going to try to combine them. Oh, and I got garbage. There we go. Pitfall trap. So 65% chance success rate. I probably should have got the book of combos for that, but well. I'm going to go ahead and buy 2 more. See how many I can get. Combine, net, and trap tools. Oh, okay. So it looks like I have already reached the maximum amount of pitfall traps. So basically I can only have 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard the garbage. I'm going to deposit my nets and trap tools. Oh, and of course the pitfall trap, because I don't want to accidentally use that. Now all I need to do is max out my flash bugs and bomb materials. And by the way, it's not gunpowder and flash bugs that'll get you a flash bomb. It's bomb material and flash bugs. So I've been getting my information wrong pretty much this whole time. I apologize to anybody who's using this as a dedicated guide, but I am kind of figuring it out as I go along. It's the gunpowder and the large barrels that'll give you the large barrel bombs, and it's the bomb materials with the flash bugs, and I think the screamers that will give you the sonic bombs. It's either the screamers and the bomb material or the screamers and the gunpowder. Don't quote me on that. Test it for yourself. And of course, this is the Japanese version of the game, so a couple of things have been altered from the English Western release. Also, we don't have dual swords in this version, so yeah, that stinks, but they'll come back in Monster Hunter G. Screamer, I'm going to go ahead and store that because I will not need it for Rathalos. The bug net I'm keeping because I'm going to need that. I'll go ahead and deposit the antidotes too, just so I have more space available. As is, before I forget, let me go ahead and max out my whetstones real quick. Alright, so since we're pretty much set on the traps, all we're really going to do is worry about the nitro shrooms and the Velocidrome. Or not the Velocidrome, the nitro shrooms and the flash bugs. Because it's the nitro shrooms and the fire herbs that will get you the gunpowder. And then, of course, I can use those for the large barrel bombs. Now, something that is important to note is that at the start of just about every one of these lower rank quests, they do have small barrel bombs and large barrels, but not large barrel bombs. So, the small barrel bombs I'm already maxed out on, but I'm going to go ahead and grab... Oh, I'm actually maxed out on the large barrels. I completely forgot about that. I'm pretty happy about that, actually, so I can just ignore that. Because the large barrels I'm maxed out on, and yeah, it would be useful to have more for later, but I'm going to worry about that later after I kill the Rathalos, because once I kill Rathalos, we're going into multiplayer, baby! Now, if I remember correctly, in the English release of the game, there's usually... Oh, there is a bug catching spot here. I'm just a total idiot. Man. Oh, but it might not be flash bugs. Bitter bugs, though, that's useful. I think bitter bugs can be used to make... Oh, it's something important. I can't remember which it is. It's not nutrients, but it's another thing. But it's very important. As is, like I said, nets are pretty set. So I just need to gather nitro shrooms to mix with the fire herbs. So I'm going to come over here to Area 7. I'm going to gather this spot behind the tree in order to get nitro shrooms. Also, that Velociprey is very polite, waiting for me to get up and not attacking me. So, if you don't know, you can actually crouch and it'll make gathering faster. Or at least that's what the saying goes. Of course, we do get special mushrooms. We can just ignore those, but you can also get nitro shrooms back here. Now, after doing a bit of grinding from beforehand, I have come to realize that in order to find the blue mushrooms, you kind of have to go to the jungle. It looks like that's the only spot they really are. Now, I did get some bad RNG there. Usually I get at least 1 or 2 nitro shrooms, but it's fine because there is a lot of them in Area 3. So besides nitro shrooms, I'm going to go to Area 9 and gather from that other bug spot. That is a much higher chance of actually giving you flash bugs, unless that is the only place that'll give you flash bugs in this version of the game, but hey, let's hope not, right? As for the special mushrooms, they only sell for like 60 zenny a piece, and since I have like 7,000 zenny, I can just ditch them. It's not worth having them in my inventory. Well, then again, since I do have so much space left in my inventory, maybe. Oh well. They're gone now, so I'm not too worried about it. Another way you can look for bug catching spots is, besides the fireflies, there's these little stick things poking out the ground, these little teeny little trees. Oh, that is such a good roll. So, Godbug, what was it? Oh, Godbug gets you something really important. But if I don't get a, yeah, but I didn't get a flash bug, so not really worth, in my opinion. Still, that is good to know. I am going to double check Area 12 just in case I'm just a big dum-dum and I completely missed a spot, but I wasn't able to find it before. As for the fireflies, they're just fishing bait, and if you don't use a gun, like if you don't use any bow guns, you don't have to worry about fishing bait. So I'm just going to ditch the firefly. Another thing a couple of people mention is there is like 1 or 2 people that said, hey, just ignore the small monsters, or at least the Velociprey in Area 5. I generally kill these small monsters just because it's pretty easy to throw me off whenever there's a bunch of small monsters around, and then I have to worry about the big monster as well. Now with the Palicos in Area 10, it's a bit different because they pull out their bombs and I can just skirt them around the Rathalos. Also, they don't really stun you. But the issue with something like Velociprey, which 2 of their attacks will stun you, and one of them will just straight up send you flying, is I'll lose a lot more time just getting knocked around by the Velociprey because I'm not paying enough attention to them than I will just by killing them. And besides that, if they don't respawn to begin with, and I mean, obviously in this mission they do respawn, but even if they stay despawned while I'm in the area, that's good enough reason for me to kill them, because even like now, I'm trying to worry about the Velociprey not knocking me over, and I'm doing a pretty poor job of it. And instead, I could have been focusing that attack on the Velocidrome, and I would actually hit it. So that is what I mean. I just very poor at dealing with small monsters. See, like that. And yes, it's a skill issue, but it's a skill issue that I've learned to deal with by killing the small monsters. Another thing is, I don't want my large barrel bombs stolen by Malinks, so I'm just going to at least kill them in Area 9. I can try not killing the Velociprey and show them what I mean, but even that right there, that's a fair bit of health that Velociprey took off of me. So obviously this is a Velocidrome quest, not a big deal now, but when you got a Rathalos charging you down, it's a much bigger deal. Now, something you do have to be careful of in these older games is that you can actually knock a monster into the loading zone, and if you do, you will not be able to carve it. So, thankfully, I don't need any Velocidrome parts anymore, but because it's way over there, I can't even get to its head. Oh, actually, I think I can. Yeah, no, it is just outside the loading zone, so I'm pretty screwed on that. I won't be able to carve it, unfortunately. So because of that, I lost out on that. But instead of worrying about that, I'm going to run back to Area 12 and see if I can find that carving spot that was listed in the guide. Because, not carving spot, but a bug catching spot. Because it said it was Area 1, Area 9, and Area 12 that you could catch bugs. Now, I did look a lot more thoroughly in Area 12 than I did in Area 1. Because in Area 1, I just happened to remember by luck from the English version, or the Western release, that there's a bug catching spot over there. But of course, all I see over here is the spiderweb. Maybe that's changed to a bug catching spot later on. I didn't mean to actually do that. I kind of got stuck on the environment, but... Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, I am just dumb. It is literally right there. I cannot believe how stupid I am. Alright, you were right, guide. Obviously, I was wrong. I admit fault on that. I'm an imperfect man, but I do what I can. I'll probably do one more rotation before I call it. I might try to do a bit more grinding for the flash bugs in the morning, but I am actually... Ooh, that's not good. Okay, so... And, oh, that's the 4-star quest. Good. So, in the morning, I'll probably get up early so I can do a bit more grinding to max out my flash bugs and gunpowder, or bomb material. But after that, I'm probably going to be raw dogging it for the rest and just going after Rathalos with what I got. Now, I know I'm putting a huge emphasis on like these flash bugs and stuff, but I really do want to try to get as many as I can, because the more flash bombs I have access to, and the more, materials for making flash bombs I have access to, the more I can keep Rathalos on the ground, which will keep him from flying away. And in addition to that, there is, of course, the traps for when he's in his cave and he likes to charge around, so I am pretty excited to give it another try this time. Of course, it really does emphasize the importance of not just preparing, but really preparing. Because if you don't prepare properly in this game, like me, only having 3 bug necks left because I forgot to buy 2 more, then it can really mess you up. So yep, that first one, I did break a bug net, and it was for a cricket, which is useless, and an insect husk. Great for if you want to go fishing, and if you're a gunner, not great for me. I'm starting to think that maybe I should start skipping this spot, because, bitter bugs are pretty useful, but not right now for me. Area 9 definitely is the most important for me right now so far, not only because, well, like I said before, you could get god bugs there, I knew about that, but not only because you can get flash bugs from Area 9, but also because I only have a couple of bug nets left. So I'm going to try to do Area 9, and then I'll sprint over to Area 12 and try to gather some bugs from there, and then I will go ahead and murder the Velocidrome and call it a stream there. Alright, so I have killed the Velocidrome. I accidentally killed it too quickly in Area 3, so I'm going to see if I can rush over to Area 12 and see how much I can get. I actually managed to get a couple of flash bugs so far, which I'm pretty excited about, so I got a couple more now. But as is, it's not really going to help much if I can't get a couple more, I guess. I need to get enough, is what I was getting at. I think I have about 10-15 seconds left, so I'm going to see how much I can get here. Of course, that's not a good start. If there's an insect husk, it usually means it's a pretty low-grade gathering area. Oh, and my bug net broke. So, yeah, insect tusks and crickets, definitely not worth. It looks like Area 9 really is the only viable place to gather bugs at. Because if all I'm going to get over in these areas is fireflies and insect tusks and crickets, that's gunner stuff. Which, no hate to gunners, but that's not stuff I need. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I did some messing around, and I really should swap these around to make it a little less painful in the eyes, but basically this is just about everything I'll need. Tomorrow I'll be gathering a few more nitro shrooms, which I'll probably need to make room for. So obviously I've maxed out mega potions, honey, herbs, so I'll need to max out my flash bugs, and I'll need to max out my gunpowder. I think I only can need one more. So basically I got 10 bomb materials, and I'm assuming I can only have 10 flash bugs. So that'll give me a total of 15 flash bombs in order to use against the Rathalos. Of course, the nets in order to use with the trap tools for the pitfall traps. Of course, I can only have 3, so I can probably just discard the rest of the nets, because they are a bit of a pain to grind up, but that shouldn't be too painful, especially considering everything I have to worry about. Maxed out large barrel bombs, maxed out small barrel bombs, maxed out large barrels. So there is going to be a point where I'm going to have to like throw a paintball or something at the barrel, just hit it with my greatsword and tank the damage. Maxed out gunpowder to mix with the barrels. Well, I don't have maxed out gunpowder. I just need one more. So really, I just need one more nitro shroom. And then, of course, for the rest of it, there's the whetstones, there's the mega potions, there's the honey and the herbs for more mega potions. Paintballs, of course, to trap him. Not trap him, but track him. And the psycho serum for whenever, if I lose him. Honestly, I probably should just ditch the psycho serum to free up a spot in my inventory, but we'll see. I'll also get, max out my well-done steaks, but as is, this is pretty much how I'm preparing for it. I'm going to try to strike his head with the draw attack with the greatsword as much as I can, and then maybe do the circle attack if I can, the spin slash. Of course, there is the pitfall trap that I can use to get a whole bunch of damage into him whenever I can. I'll probably save the pitfall traps, actually, for whenever he's weaker. Maybe I'll use 1 or at most 2, but towards the end of the fight, I'm going to try to save at least 5 large barrel bombs in order to use them against Rathalos, because I want to try to maximize the damage that I can whenever he is limping. But of course, besides that, there is just a strat in general of creating large barrel bombs and, after flashing him, and then just striking him in the head with the large barrels, the large barrel bombs, excuse me. The bug net, it will not be there, so I'll have 1 spot in my inventory available for first aid meds. And really, that's it. It's going to be 1 spot. Well, I guess 2 spots, because I won't have the fire herbs either. Because once I get 1 more nitro shroom and max it out with my gunpowder, or not gunpowder, but fire herbs, then I can max out the gunpowder, and of course use that for the large barrels. But that said, it's looking like my strategy so far. I will still most likely go to Area 9 and kill the Malinks just to get them out the way, but I'll see about trying to ignore the not the Rathalos, but the Velocidrome as much as I can in Area 5, but it's probably not going to be helpful. I'll probably waste more time getting knocked around and then Rathalos flying away and me having to chase him down than killing the Velocidrome while Rathalos is sleeping and only taking a minute to do that. Either way, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Great Hunt, Round 2 of me versus the Rathalos. So, that said, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like on it. Subscribe if you want to keep up with the channel and any videos I post. I post Monday to Friday. Weekends are excluded because at this time, my internet at home is terrible and I have to move the videos to my phone and upload them for my work site. But if you want to support the future of the channel or suggest other games for me to play outside of Monster Hunter, subscribe to my Patreon down in the description below. That way I can properly prepare next time. Bye now.